What's up, everybody? My name is Paul DiNuzzo, PLD.
And I'm Richard Jarvi, but where am I? This is a different setting. I'm not at work anymore. I'm at home. Welcome to mi casa.
That's because we got lots of money now. Or you're at a home studio.
Come on, welcome to my crib. Well, this isn't MTV Movie Awards or MTV Cribs. This is Class Action. Tell us, Paul, what is Class Action?
Class Action is our show here on the Action Industry's YouTube channel, where we take a look at two opposing sides. Could be movies, franchises, Hollywood personas, viewpoints, etc. With the help of 5 custom-made categories, we decide which one is victorious in what we call the Class Action Brief of the Week.
Dude, that was awesome. I can't even continue. That was very well. But yeah, this and if the brief of the week involves or is inspired by a recently reviewed film, we will also provide a small review or thoughts about the movie. Yep. But if the brief is about 2 older movies, we might take a look at the films in a different way. So we might have some fun games or something. We won't review the movie. We might do something to spice things up.
Let's try something. Speaking of spicing up, I gotta tell a little story first. So PLD. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Let's get this pulled pled. So I introduced that on the first show here at Class Action, but it has a long history. It was noticed by Ben Bateman recently, and he's been referring to me as PLD. He'll call me Paul DiNuzzo or PLD.
No one calls him that.
It's the point where Andrew guy's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And everybody starts talking like, no one calls him that. Billy Bell, I mentioned that it was a nickname of mine. And Billy Bell, for example, will say, I've known him 2 years. I've never heard that name before. And I kind of get it. Here's a little bit of the backstory, just so you know, guys. It's my initials. PLD is my initials. When I was in high school, I had a bunch of friends, and we were all doing sorts of creative stuff. And, we're pretentious young high schoolers, and we used to sign off on our work. And my signature was always -PLD -immortality N-, and that was my artist signature. It's pretty fucking pretentious. I'm not gonna lie, right? A young kid can do, and yet because of that, those friends, including the one who is still my best friend today, has always called me PLD. And when you say nobody's called you PLD, I call my best friend on the phone. He'll be like, PLD. And that's what it was. But I never brought it into the Schmodown community when I got here, because no one else really calls me except for him. But I decided to develop, because this is kind of a spoiler maybe, but I'm not really. I'm developing my own.
You're in the draft? You got drafted?
I'm in the draft. I'm the new Star Wars champion, Alex. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Alex. Anyway.
That escalated.
That got really, really hard. I'm sorry. I don't know you very well yet. But I have been considering and slowly developing my own YouTube channel, where I'm going to talk about maybe stuff that I can't do in the call to action, or I don't have time to do on the once a week show we do here. And I do what I call projects, where I watch different discographies, like the Harris Dance is my famous one. I watch all the Ed Harris movies. I did Steven Spielberg. I'm doing David Fincher now. And I would discuss those projects and kind of go into, I haven't really fully developed the idea yet, but the name I had tossed out there was, I didn't like Paul projects, because that sounded just stupid. So I went PLD projects. Now, does that sound stupid too? Probably some people.
You sound like a construction firm.
It does sound like a construction firm too, maybe. So I'm not sure yet, but I think I'm still going to go with it for now, because for whatever reason, I dug it. I'll have to see how it works with the artwork.
It sounds cool.
But so I brought PLD to this show specifically as a possibility that I might be branding myself.
Shameless plug, one might call it.
It could be a shameless plug, or it might at least be the same individual over, 3. If I have PLD projects here, I'm Paul DiNuzzo from World Quality. At least I can bring it all together under one banner. So I said, I'll be PLD. I never thought I was going to get the shit I was going to get for it, but I love it. I'm going to take ownership of it, and nobody called me PLD, but at least one person does, and now maybe everybody else will. I'm going to start calling myself PLD, but if you call me Paulie D or Paul, I'm not going to say no, obviously. So not a big deal.
That's okay, Paulie. Don't worry about it.
There you go. It doesn't matter. But look at that. If you look at the bottom corner, I am PLD. That's where I am on that. So
you heard it here first, folks.
PLD. Identify myself as PLD. But anyway, as we all mentioned, let's get into the rest of the show before we go into any further nonsense, because I'm sure we've lost half of the listeners by now.
Yep.
But we are on the Action Industry channel here. This is what we do on the Action Industry's YouTube channel, the home of all things Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy. We salute you, fine sirs, for giving us our chance to have this show weekly. But they're responsible for some of our favorite content. This is how we got together as friends. They give us content such as the action reviews. We'll talk about the new action guys in a moment. As well, of course, their primary show that we got involved with, which is the Action Movie Anatomy Show, which is on the Popcorn Talk Network. Well over 200 episodes now. And they just had another big episode this week. What did they cover this week, Richard?
Well, they were supposed to cover Bad Boys 2.
They sort of
which is one of my guilty pleasure favorite movies. I grew up on Bad Boys. I love Bad Boys. And I was like, sweet, they're doing Bad Boys.
A whole hour on Bad Boys.
And then they changed the title into Oscar Talk. I was like, all right, we'll get some Bad Boys. We got very little Bad Boys. And a lot of Oscar Talk.
We're watching this show. We're talking. And the Oscar Talk's fine. I love having the snubs and what didn't get nominated, what should get nominated, didn't get nominated. But then, like, I kind of like looked at my watch a few times and I'm like, 20 minutes in, half an hour in. I actually messaged you like 40 minutes in. I'm like, are they actually ever going to do Bad Boys 2 at all? Or is this ever going to happen?
I don't know. Do Bad Boys.
And maybe that's okay. But the community loved Oscar Talk, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It was an idea on a new format. They want to have a topic first and then get into the AMA portion, which means if they're going to do this going forward, which they kind of didn't seem like they were 100% sure on. It was kind of like there was a test in a way.
It was a pilot for sure. Yeah,
pilot. Whether they would do. They said theoretically that they would probably do a lesser topic as far as like length goes. Mm-hmm. So that I think the idea is to do a 10 to 15 minute, 20-minute topic, and then a smaller AMA after that. I'm not against it myself. I'll be honest. I'm not against myself. So I think it's always great to have more topics to talk about, especially you have those timely Oscar talks, and especially to couple it with an older movie per se. I get that. I am a sucker. I don't like change very much. I love my action movie anatomy, so getting my whole hour on a movie, it's going to be a little bit weird for me to get used to. But as long as it doesn't go too long, I'd rather not have the mini AMA and then a big topic. I mean, that they could save that for the action guys. I think, in my own personal view. I don't know what you think about it. What do you think about it?
I think I'm with you that I don't think Bad Boys 2 and Oscar Talk like mesh together very well. They were completely different topics. I think if they discussed, I don't know, if they did 1917 and then had the Oscar Talk, I think they could have talked about it more naturally because these were completely on different sides of the spectrum.
So you're telling me that Bad Boys 2 was not an Oscar-nominated film?
Well, it won Best Picture.
Oh, did. I'll get that out. My cat coming through. My cat. That's the action cat. Action cat Indiana Jones.
That was a great cameo.
Woo! Hi there. We love our pets here on Action Industries.
But honestly, I think if the episode was longer, I honestly loved the first episodes of AMA when they were like an hour and a half. I know there's maybe bad reviews or whatever, but I think if they're going to incorporate a topic and an AMA, they could have longer episodes. So I feel like the base viewership is there for that.
Like, I agree with that. I also would say that if you could, I hate to say AMA, one of my lesser favorite parts of AMA. The best parts of AMA were always discussing the movie, like the fist bump moments, of course, the favorite quotes, favorite scenes. Maybe if they wanted to cut down a little bit, sometimes they cut down a little bit on like the production talk, the stuff that is not as engaging, I think, to me. So they're going to cut something out of AMA to fit a topic earlier on. I could see that working very well for the show. But overall, I guess I would give it a cautionary thumbs up. That's what I would say. Cautionary thumbs up. I think if as long as they work out the kinks with that, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Exactly. Like, I'd like to see. I'd like to give it a couple.
It was a good test run.
I'd like to see give it a couple more runs to see how it goes, see how it develops. I just don't want to sacrifice as much AMA time as could be sacrificed. But overall, I think it'd be good for the show.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think they need to evolve the show because they've changed and the movies have changed what they've been doing. So I think it's only natural that they're bringing new stuff. So overall, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what's going to be done next week. I hope it's Bad Boys for Life because it was fucking sweet.
I haven't seen it yet, but I hope you so too. Because I love the Bad Boy movies myself. I'm going to do a little bit of I'm going to watch 1 and 2 this weekend and go see 3 on Monday, and then hopefully we can go right into an AMA. That's what I'm going to do.
But we have more pressing concerns because we are reviewing 1917 today.
Right. 1917 is our review. We're doing 1917. We're doing our brief is 1917 versus Dunkirk, which we haven't even talked about. That is our class action brief of the week this week, which you saw with our great, awesome thumbnail by JP Patrick.
Oh my God, I love it.
Patrick, JP. Ooh, we love you, man. Oh, this guy is on fire.
Yep. And he's doing so much. How is he doing it all?
I have no idea.
I hope someone's paying him for it.
Action Industries. He was doing John Roca thumbnail. He did a thumbnail for I think for Roxy's. He does all her. I don't know where the time or energy, because the man is just a legend. So
agreed.
Salute to you, Jacob Patrick, of the Action Army and of Action Industries. But that's where we are. So we're doing 1917 versus Dunkirk this week, which is our great brief. It's two awesome, amazing films by two wonderful filmmakers. Obviously, similar subjects: war as hell.
That's right.
But I would say the first thing we're going to talk about first is we'll do our review of 1917, which it is a new enough film. You saw it first, and you definitely hyped me up on it. You were like, "Oh my god, I love this film!" So why don't you tell me what were your first thoughts on it when you saw it?
I was quite skeptical because I never really. We've been getting so many World War II movies, and the thought about a World War I movie sort of, I don't know. It's weird to say that movie is a cinematic thing, but you never think of World War I as a film that could work on screen. And I went in, I was like, because everyone's been raving, I was like, okay, it has to be good. It has to be good. I'm gonna see it. I think I'm gonna love it. I watched it. I came out. I was completely emotionally stunned. I came out. I was at a press screening, and I was just like, I saw some people I knew. I just went up to them. Because at press screenings, everyone usually they're alone because some people that you go in alone, and you're just. I was like, it was good, wasn't it? And the other dude went, just don't talk to me right now. I need to digest this. I was like, I'm with you. So everyone was stunned. I was stunned. I was so emotionally. I can't say satisfied because it was kind of a bittersweet ending, but the movie did something that I never thought it would.
Yeah, I get that. It's funny because I remember seeing the trailer for it back when the first trailer came out, and I was not overly impressed with the first trailer.
Me too. The trailer was okay.
All I saw was like, oh, it kind of looks like Saving Private Ryan for World War I. That's what it looks like. Where you got to send somebody to save somebody or get a message to somebody, and okay, so like Steven Spielberg did this pretty well before. What's new? And nothing stood out to me as like, oh, this is sweet. But other people liked it a lot from the first trailer. But by the time I got there, I got to the movie. It was, we should say this is obviously spoilers. We got spoilers in this review because we are talking about a full review.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen 1917, you probably should cut out now for a little bit. But what I would say is that I was impressed because I went in with a lot higher expectations because people like you.
I told you it's the best movie of the year.
You did,
and it's the best war movie I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this is what this guy is telling me, and I got Ben Bateman saying the same thing. I got all these reviewers saying, "Oh my god, it's the best film." And so I kind of was like reaffirming my view. I'm like, all right, well, I went from I'll go see this. Maybe we'll see when it comes out. To all of a sudden, all right, I guess I really got to see this now. And to the point where like, okay, well, I definitely have to see this now. And I walked out. Not quite on that level. I think I was a little overhyped at that point. I walked in expecting to see like the best film of all time. But I will say it is definitely in my top films of the year for certain. It was that good. It wasn't that good at least. So I mean, even though I was well overhyped, it was still worth the hype. That makes sense. I don't know. Some of it. What I loved about it was the humanity of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's a war movie. It's a war. Or would I even say it's a drama disguised as a war movie? Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good call.
Kind of is, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely much. I mean, there's action pieces. Obviously, some of the better action pieces I've seen put to film, and all that, but they weren't.
It's crazy how they did them as well.
Right, but they weren't meant to be like epic. Like you talk about Saving Private Ryan, the opening Storm is such a classic, iconic battle scene, and there's a little bit of that. Like at the end of the film, the climax of 1917, there's definitely some of that, but that's not the focus of the film, which is what a lot of times a lot of these war films they focus on these action set pieces in a way.
Yeah. They completely focus on two characters.
Yes, it's the whole, and that's due to the I don't want to say gimmick because gimmick's a bad thing. Gimmick makes it sound like a bad thing, but the idea, the gimmick that they use is the single shot. All the film taking place. It doesn't stop. I mean, there's definitely a couple tricks here and there, but it's all.
You can definitely tell when they're cutting.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some times where it's like, oh, there, but you don't care because you know what they're going for, and it's and it works. It definitely works and brings you in. So, but it helps you. It's just a good choice for this film because it does help you completely focus on your lead character there, played by George McKay, and also his sidekick there.
James Dean Chapman.
James Dean Chapman. That's it. James Dean Chapman.
Prince Tommen from Game of Thrones.
That's right. I forgot. I can always forget that. Mm-hmm. He's not the only Game of Thrones alum in the film either.
Nope. Spoilers.
Not the fact that they're brothers. They're brothers even better in a way, almost, because they're
Lannister and Stark brothers.
Lannister and Stark brothers. Who knew, huh? But there's so much about the film that I loved.
How are you satisfied with the lead actors, the two relatively unknown actors?
I was blown away is not quite the word I'd use, but I think McKay has a solid future. Yeah. I mean, I hate to, after seeing one performance, deeming him like the next big thing, but as Leo says in Django Unchained, you got my curiosity, now you got my attention. He's got it. Chapman was good, solid. I had no problem with him, but it's not his movie, obviously, to me. But he does a good job too, as well.
In a way, it is, because we're talking spoilers. He dies midway into the movie, even before. I think it's midway into the movie.
You feel like it's not even quite midway. That's the thing to me. I was surprised,
but you still feel that he's with him throughout this journey, because George Schofield shouldn't really care. He has 1,600 men in the great scheme of things. It's pretty much nothing. Okay, every life matters, but he's going there because of his brother. He's completing it for him, and in that sense, Blake is with him through the whole journey.
Right. Yeah, and he has definitely a way. But as far as if you're talking about just the actors themselves,
true.
Actors themselves, I wouldn't say that Chapman's like, oh, I got to see him in the next thing. I wouldn't see a movie based on Chapman. I probably would definitely consider seeing a movie based on McKay right now. That's much he got me. So
let's talk about some big moments in the movie. Like, for example, Blake dying. Oh my God,
wow,
that was harsh.
Yeah, it's harsh because it happens. Oh, just the way it happens, and the timing of how it happens in a way. You'd almost expected it to be. I expected it to be a little bit later on. I kind of expected it to happen at some point because the way they had some of the trailers or else, but like it just seemed like when it happened, like wow, that's quick. But it was so heartbreaking too. Doing something good, he wanted to do something good for somebody. He's trying to save somebody, and then that person killed him.
And the way he died, it's also I love when. Well, it's weird to say love, but I love it. They had the gray moment, the Liam Neeson moment.
Yes.
He asked, "Am I going to die?" And there is a pause, and he says, "Yes. You're dying. I think you're dying."
Yes.
I don't know. I like when they acknowledge that the fact that everything's gonna be okay, everything's going, and then you're dying. Sort of own it. You're in your last moments. Right. Let your life flash right before your eyes. Right. Embrace the moment and sort of let it take you. I don't know. Feel this.
You know what got me? The struggles, and he had those moments. The everything's gonna be all right moment at first because he kept trying to get him to stand and walk. We got to get to this place, and his struggles of just standing up, and you felt it. I felt the pain in my stomach, like from
when he was trying to lift him up.
Trying to say,
oh my God, that was
And like it's like that's the character, like not wanting him to die, and trying to like deny that this is happening, which made that moment even better when he did say he was going to die, because all of a sudden it's like when McKay accepts it.
Yep.
Oh man, that's harsh. My mic there, sorry. But yeah, that's one of my favorite moments as well. My other favorite one I'll bring is
the flares.
The flares. The flares are good. No, it's
the final push.
The moment you know what? I should let you talk about it. It's your favorite moment. One of your favorite scenes of all time.
Oh, you're talking about the French lady moment.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the trench run when he gets up. Okay, I feel like there's three really big scenes. First one is Blake dying, the plane crashing. The other one is the flares in the night town and it's also part of when Schofield like jams the window open and just runs into an apartment or something.
Right.
And that's when he's being chased. Everything's like shit's been going down. He's being shot at, everything, and he finds this apartment and there's a French woman there, and the movie completely slows down.
Halts.
And it's such you feel relieved. You sort of feel like, wow, he's getting some rest. She's tending to his head wound.
You need a break.
Such a tender, exactly. It's such a tender moment. And then you hear the baby cry, and you're, oh no. And then she says, what's his name? She says, je ne sais pas. Whose is it? Je ne sais pas. You're like, oh my God, everything about this moment is so heartbreaking, but it's also beautiful. He gives her milk. He has the milk, which is it's sort of. I was like, it sort of feels convenient, but it sort of kind of doesn't, because coincidences happen in life.
Yeah,
it would make perfect sense like that.
Yeah,
so this, and I'm sorry, I just keep rambling, but that scene is my favorite scene of the year.
That's
like I pick favorite scenes each year, and this is my favorite scene out of the movie in 2019.
That might be an upcoming show. We could do favorite scenes of the year. That's something we do. We'll talk off air afterwards. But I agree with that too. I got to tell you, I should mention one of my favorite scenes of the movie too, real quick. The scene that first got me into the movie, like it slowly took me in, but when the rat sets off the tripwire in the tunnel.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Also, it's kind of like I just got that.
I'm cursing a lot, but this movie makes me curse.
I went boom! And like, oh shit! And it's like, this is real. Okay, here we are. And I felt like that part of it. I got a little bit of claustrophobia myself, so they kind of
and with all the dust in his mouth and his wake, you feel like you're choking as well on all this rubble.
Oh God, that's so powerful. That really drew me in for the first scene. Like I was buried in there. They got out. Wow. Okay. Now
and the blind jump. The blind jump. Just trust me. Jump.
Nothing. Just jump. Oh, so good. But yeah, that was a big one. And of course, you can't not talk about the final run.
It's so cool. It's in the trailer, but there's no way you feel the like gravitas of the moment when you see it happen.
Tears start coming down. And it's like you're watching
the music.
The music score and raising. You're like, get to the lieutenant. Get there. Stop this battle. It's about to happen. Stop it. You got to stop it. You're like, you got it.
And the way he bumps into the soldiers, he falls. That was actually a coincidence. He wasn't supposed to run into them. That was just extras being like, and you can tell he was slowing down. He fell. The camera was way further.
Right. Yeah.
And he sprints. You can see him actually sprinting up to the camera, trying to get back into the shot. And he falls again. He falls again into the other guy, and it's perfect. That's what would happen. I'm so glad that actually happened.
Yeah, me too. Everything about it was beautiful, man. Oh God, I gotta say, there's a lot about this film. I mean, we talked about basically. We had the score, which was phenomenal. We had the cinematography. Roger Deakins. Oh, he's so. If he doesn't win the Academy
he's the best cinematographer of all time.
Oh, doesn't win the Academy Award. There's a crime. That's a crime.
Yeah. What would you score the movie? Out of 10. Or out of 5. I think we've been doing out of 5.
I do out of 5. That's how I've always done that. Out of 5. So I'd say probably 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Maybe 4.75 out of 5, even if I had to. I know I can't do that because we don't do that. We usually do half stars. If I have to do a half star, I'll say 4.5. But it could be a 5 as well. I mean, I just fair game. I just saw it yesterday. I'm still processing it. I haven't written my own anything else. I'm still kind of going through it. But my initial instinct is 4.5, possibly a 5. So.
I've seen it twice. This is easily 5 out of 5 for me.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't argue that at all. So I mean, I might get there. Then I might get there myself when I think about it more. I
feel like talking to you about it makes you rate it even higher and higher as we go.
It is. I kind of get more and more into it. I'm like, okay. All right, I see that. So, okay. I love it. I still haven't ranked on my top 10, but I will say I haven't put on my top 10 of 2019 yet. But I know definitively it's on there, probably top 5. So I'll go there as well. But that's where we are with 1917. A great film and a wonderful experience. That's what I would say. So
definitely. I have a question for you, Paul.
Okay, go ahead.
What would Ed Harris play?
That's what we're going to talk about. Our favorite game of the week. Every week we play this game. What would Ed Harris play? Ed Harris, my favorite actor of all time, always gives the best. Over 77 films plus. He's never mailed in a performance, I don't think, and so he makes any movie better. So what we do is we pick a role in a movie that's in there, or else we write a new role for Ed Harris to play, because you would make a 4.5-star movie into a 5-star movie, or a 5-star movie into a 5.5 star, which isn't even possible, I know, but we'll make it work. Making the math work here. That's what we do. I don't do math. So
we're lawyers. We're class action. We don't know anything about math.
That's true. We're lawyers only, and we'll argue it. And if somebody argues us, we'll argue it down.
We're not lawyers, actually.
That's just the show. We're loyal. We just play one on YouTube's. Pretty much. So what would Ed Harris play in your 1917?
It feels clear cut that you would want to slot him in as either Colin Firth, Mark Strong, or Benedict Cumberbatch at the end. Benedict Cumberbatch seems like the obvious choice because he's like the hard-ass character. But I I would give this to just before the final push. He's trying to find the captain, and he goes to people. Where is he? And he finds the captain who's like at the trenches, and it turns him around, and the dude's crying, completely just slobbering. You can't understand anything. He's broken down. I want to see that side of Ed Harris.
Ooh.
I want to see him totally vulnerable, crying his eyes out, being totally shattered.
Wow, that is a very interesting idea, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Because that's something similar, but for different movie in a way. I'll get to that in a second. I agree. I think that I would love to see. The one thing about Colin Firth, which I think could have been better. I think Ed Harris could have been better than Colin Firth. I like Colin Firth. Ed Harris has a certain.
Colin Firth is more gentle. He was very gentle.
I don't think he commands the same respect as a general. I think Ed Harris in that role could have been more commanding and more authoritative in a way. And I don't nothing against Colin Firth, but I think Ed Harris would slot into that role better. That's what I'm going to go with. I know it might be a simple role to put him in. And I gotta say, we've done, like I mentioned off air, we've done a lot of Ed Harris in military roles recently because that's what he seems to fit well in those General Hummel type roles. So that's where we always try to slide him in. And we've had a lot of those roles to slide him into recently. So eventually we'll have to get him off. But in thinking about this brief of the week, I want to slide in a little curveball for you. We're doing 1917 versus Dunkirk, right? I thought of a Dunkirk role for Ed Harris.
Okay, let's hear it. Oh, no, I like that.
The idea for me is I would love to see in the same vamp that we're talking about. I actually want to see Ed Harris
Cillian Murphy.
No, but that's another good one.
That's where you were going.
I know, but it's related. I want to see him in the Mark Rylance role, in the non-military role.
Yeah,
the everyman role.
Okay,
but where like the point, like the scene I want to see Ed Harris do most is when the plane goes down. And like he's like, you gotta go. Like he's dead, and he's dead. You can't go. He might be alive. We're gonna get him. We're gonna go there. Like I kind of want to see almost over the top, like earthiness to his character. I'd love to see Ed Harris in that role.
It will be a totally different character though, because Rylance has this very calm, weird, almost monotonous way he's speaking, but he instills calmness and surety into him. Ed Harris is more commanding and sort of like has this yell and this like aggressiveness about him.
The thing about I would think about him like in the Abyss role, like in Bud Brigman, kind of like every man kind of, that's his boat, that's his thing. He's gonna go help out because he's supposed to, but he's emotional about it. He's gonna take everything. I don't know. I think it'd be a very cool role to see.
We're both challenging Harris in these roles. Definitely.
I like that. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we got that done. Should we?
We got a fun game now.
You got a fun game.
I want to do it.
Okay. All right.
I feel like we're pushing on time, but I kind of want to do it. This is a new segment we came up with last week. It's called the Public Defender. Why is it called the Public Defender? Really quickly, Paul.
Oh, the Public Defender. Well, it's because when you need somebody, you need somebody, and you can't afford a lawyer. What do you get? You get the Public Defender. And what does that mean? It's a guy who is underpaid. He has no money, so he has no time, no money, so he can do only the briefest of strategies. You're going to get what you pay for. You're getting free. So, so in this case, we're going to give each other a top 5. You have to do a top 5 something, and we have no time to research. It's going to be off the top of our head. We're going to be ridiculously missing some obvious points here, and people in the chat are going to go, "How the hell could you forget this movie? How the hell could you forget this character?"
But that's the point.
And we're like, "Yes, you're right. I absolutely did," because we're in the spot, the lights are on us, and we have no time to even think about it. So that's what we're going to go with here. We're going to throw each other one, and we'll go back and forth on them. So do you want to do yours first?
I want to do mine first. Just throw it at me. I've never heard this before. This is the first time, so I'll be making it up as I go.
Okay. Well, we'll do it. Top 5. Top 5 brutal war moments in a movie.
Dude, are you kidding me? That's exactly what I came up with for you.
What? Really?
I came up with, okay, I won't say there's a bit of a difference. Okay, but most brutal moments.
You know what?
That's actually a bit of a difference.
Let's do it. Let's do this together, because I didn't think of any for mine.
I had top 5 emotional explosions in war movies. It's pretty much the same thing.
Right. Okay.
Yours may be more brutal, so.
Let's come up with a top 5 together. We'll have top 5 total. You throw out one, I'll throw out one. You'll throw out one, I'll throw one. You go out with your first one.
Okay, number 5. Okay, so brutal. It has to be brutal. All right.
We can get emotional. We can combine our two since we're so close.
I'm going to try with brutal, because that's something I haven't prepared. So, okay. Black Hawk Down, the moment where one of the soldiers gets a leg wound and it's the artery that's burst and they're trying to fix it and everything. He's like it's very brutal. It's the most brutal part of the movie. And Josh Hartnett is trying to push down on the wound. They're trying to help him, but he just bleeds out on the table.
Gotcha on that one. Okay, I'll go with my first one. It actually fits both brutal and emotional.
So that's top 5. Is yours top 4 now? Number 4.
And these aren't necessarily ranked. We should say these aren't necessarily ranked.
Right.
Just say, I guess top 5. We'll just say 5, whatever. 5 favorites or so. It's Johnny Galecki in Saving Private Ryan.
He was in Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, the clergy guy. He was the clergy guy at the end there when he was he was dying at the end when Tom Hanks's character was all with him, and the action guys loved it. It was Johnny Galecki, right?
It's not the Upham moment, no?
What's the character's name? I'm going off. This is why Public Defender is going to be so crazy.
But that's the point. Johnny Galecki, that's the dude from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, it's am I thinking of the wrong guy?
I think you're thinking Giovanni Ribisi, no?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. I get the two.
All right.
Yes,
okay, I know that one.
The medic character.
The Upham. Yeah, that's the Upham moment.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm sorry. See, this is what you get. I'm thinking Johnny Galecki. I get Johnny Galecki and Giovanni Ribisi confused sometimes. But Giovanni Ribisi in Saving Private Ryan, the medic scene, so heartbreaking, and you want to watch it when he's just it's brutal. It's so emotional, so sad. I can't get over. I still can't get over when I see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, brutal moments in war movies, right? That was in war movies. Okay, going Braveheart when William Wallace's his wife gets throat slit at the when the British come and they want to punish someone and they just take his wife. It's such a horrible moment, but you can feel after that when Mel Gibson's raining down hard on them, all the emotionality is there. But the moment when they slit her throat, it's heartbreaking. It's brutal.
Okay, I got another one, and it might be a cheat because it's the same movie. It's still Saving Private Ryan, but it's my favorite. If I had to say, if it epitomized what I thought about a brutal war moment, it was from the opening scene. And after the first bombs are walking, you see Tom Hanks' character's like kind of scanning the scene, and you just see this soldier walk around, like pick up his arm.
Oh, right. Oh, fuck, that's gnarly.
Like that gnarly. You're like, holy shit, that is like, this is the brutal moment, one of those brutal moments I've ever seen. I'm like, so that is definitely in my top 5 somewhere in there as far as brutal moments. I don't know who the character is, and it doesn't matter. It's just a small little. Love that moment.
Oh, that's totally brutal. I'm going totally different. So mine is the last one, right?
Yep, that's fine.
I'm going because I'm kind of panicking and I have a pattern. I'm going Gladiator when Commodus kills Marcus Aurelius, chokes him against his chest.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll go with that. That's a very solid one, too. All right. Solid listening here in the Public Defender. I think we got our client off. Maybe we'll find out.
I'm sorry, what now? You got our client
off of this. Got exonerated.
Right. Now I get it. Yeah. Weird. We're canceled.
Well, let's see what our faithful viewers decide on if we won or not. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on. We are now 35 minutes in. We're going to get to the brief of the week. Brief of the week. We take these 5 categories that we come up with and go back and forth, and let's see who won this week's brief of the week. Our 5 categories are as follows: better score, Hans Zimmer versus Thomas Newman; better ancillary characters. Both films have a couple set of not cameos, but they're high-class actors and supporting.
Yeah, the better roles. Supporting cast.
Supporting cast. That's what I said. Supporting cast. I look at the old outline. But yeah, better senses of war. I like that. The battle, the action set pieces. Which sequences are more like which one works better for me or you? Better emotional fist bumps. That's what you just talked about. Emotional explosions and fist bumps. And then finally, the better cinematography. Hoyt van Hoytema versus Roger Deakins.
You're well done.
Was that pretty good? Yeah, we had it. Hoyt van Hoytema. I like that. Hoyt van. No, but anyway, that's what we're going to go with. So why don't we start with best score? I'll let you open up with best score.
I wonder why. We had a brief talk about the score before. Both this is a difficult one for me because I like Thomas Newman's score. I like it personally more because it ties in with all the emotionality of the movie, because Thomas Newman's scores are it doesn't differ from his other scores very much. He has this certain style that fits perfectly for this movie, and it's very melodic. It's sort of, you feel it, the music tells you almost as much as what's happening on screen how you should feel. Right. And before the final push, the music, so it comes on, it gets you going, you feel pumped, you feel like your heart rate's rising. And when you see Schofield running, everything like melds together perfectly. On the other hand, we have Hans Zimmer with one of the most technically advanced scores, if that's even possible to say, because it almost feels like the score is one continuous song throughout the entire movie, which builds tension, and it doesn't stop. You feel like as soon as the story starts, when our main character soldier meets up with the French guy, I feel like it starts to build. You feel uneasy. You feel like it's building this weird tone. It's not even music. It builds, and it builds throughout the entire movie until at the very last moment when the score drops. You feel like you can breathe. Something steps off your chest. You feel relieved. You feel like the tension has been lifted. So I'm struggling with the fact if I should give this to my favorite, or if we would pick one which is objectively better. I'm actually going to give this to Dunkirk and Hans Zimmer.
Okay.
So I'm deciding on the moment.
Even though your favorite is 1917, the favorite of the two is
It is. But I feel like Zimmer deserves recognition in this one.
Okay. I'm going to go to, let me talk the same. I actually feel strikingly similar in some ways to you. I feel Dunkirk. I love Hans Zimmer. He's one of the few. I just got into scores and soundtracks more heavily. I used to be a John Williams fanboy. Mm-hmm. It was John Williams, Hans Zimmer, and Alan Silvestri, like the three I really liked a lot. But I've been trying to develop a little bit more into different scores. I love scores. I just haven't really taken the next step. But this one, in this case, I felt that Dunkirk was less of a score and more of a soundscape, if you will. It was almost part of the sound effects. Like the score sounded like a war in a way, like the drone of it and everything else. It's very, very Nolan. It's very cold. It's a cold score.
Exactly.
Very emotionally lifting. You're lifting, draining. It's part of the overall. It almost like it's a heavy score. It weighs down on you because that's
how. That was what it was supposed to be. The movie was supposed to make you feel that way.
Right. Absolutely. So it's definitely a very effective score. Thomas Newman is more the score I genuinely like, and Hans Zimmer's made scores like that as well, with the very emotional swells, uprises, and those a very more humanity, a human-like score in a way.
Humane
character, humane. It felt like it was a character running alongside McKay. What was McKay's character's name? I keep forgetting. I just saw yesterday. Not Blake and
Schofield.
Schofield, that's what it was. Yeah, Schofield. You almost feel like the score was like it's a character with Schofield running side by side with Schofield, or helping to push him along in a way. But so in a way, I think I probably enjoyed 1917 more, just like you. But at the same time, I think Dunkirk probably ended up serving the film more directly as a part of the overall film.
I had no idea we were going there.
You see what I'm saying about that, though? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like I love 1917 film, but I think I'm giving it to Dunkirk also. I think it's
wow.
It fits the movie. And it fits. I mean, not that 1917 doesn't fit 1917.
No, I get it. I get it completely.
But it's just that's what it works for me. So I'm going to give it to Dunkirk.
I was not expecting that. So that's 2-0 for Dunkirk.
Very. Which I almost want to throw in there first. No, I'll talk later at the end. I forgot. Want to move on to better supporting cast?
Yep. Let's you start this.
Okay. This is a tough one for me. I love the supporting cast for 1917 a lot. And I like the supporting cast for Dunkirk a lot as well. You got Colin Firth, who I thought is always solid. I love Mark Strong is one of my favorite actors. One of my favorite actors going.
His moment was awesome.
Oh, he's so
good.
Voice. Oh God, follow this man. Follow him into my grave. Also, I don't know if you know him, and I think Andrew Scott, who plays Moriarty in the UK.
Oh, right. Yeah. The guy from Sherlock. That's right.
That's what it was. Awesome. I love him. Anything he's in, I will watch anything that he's in. He is a phenomenal young actor. I love him. So having him in this movie, brilliant. He was great in this movie too. I love the whole give him the floor gun.
He was such a dick, but he was awesome.
Love him. And of course, who else there? You got Richard Madden at the end. As Blake's brother.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and of course Benedict Cumberbatch himself. You got Sherlock and Moriarty are both in it. But I like the fact that Dunkirk also had great roles as well. You had Harry Styles of all people.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Styles
was really good.
He was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine that. I didn't know he had that in him in a way. You also had some other James Darcy as the Colonel. Cillian Murphy and Mark Rylance. I don't know if you consider them leads or not. I don't know where they fall in your category. They're kind of supporting.
I would say supporting. I would, but I know most wouldn't. Maybe.
As much as I think I liked more of the characters in 1917, I'm actually going to give this to Dunkirk as well, and here's why. Harry Styles is surprisingly good. Kenneth Branagh does everything for me in both movies. And in the movie where Dunkirk, which I'll talk about later on, I didn't think Dunkirk had a lot of emotion in it, to be honest with you. It was my least emotion. Like it was done purposefully to a way. Like, I get emotionally invested in a lot of characters. But there's a couple of sequences where Kenneth Branagh's face alone did the acting of like 1,000 men.
And Hardy's eyes. Tom Hardy's eyes.
And Hardy's eyes as well.
It's true, yeah.
And his warmth when he talks about home, when he sees the boats out there, he sees the hope. I related more to Kenneth Branagh in those like few minutes than a lot of actors in a lot of movies. That right there wins the day for me. So Kenneth Branagh alone, if I had to pick one, I got to give it to Dunkirk. Just for Kenneth Branagh, everything else.
For me, who sways me to go for Dunkirk, I'm not saying I'm going there, is Mark Rylance, but I know you probably consider him more a lead. But for me, he's what brings so much. It's weird. I talked about him being monotonous and sort of like very low key and silent talking, but he brings so much emotion. And again, Kenneth Branagh is he's one of my favorites. And Cillian Murphy plays this like emotionally. He's in shock. Everything you kind of hate the character, but you feel like that's exactly the point. But I feel like I'm still going 1917 because of Colin Firth, Mark Strong, and Benedict Cumberbatch, and what you said about Scott. What was his name? Moriarty.
Andrew Scott.
Yeah. Because the movie we had two unknowns, and the most we had unknowns in leads, and the stars of the movie had almost like 1 or 2 minutes. They had very little screen time, but they were perfectly placed in the movie. You need these stars to sell the movie, because if you're looking at billing, you're looking at IMDb, first names that pop up are Benedict Cumberbatch, for Colin Firth, and Mark Strong, and you feel like, okay, so this movie has some strong leads. But when you start the movie, you're like, okay, I really don't care about the stars. I'm interested in these two characters. But as the story goes, you forget that they're even in the movie. And when they pop up, it's such an uplifting moment. And each of them give an amazing performance. Like Mark Strong saying, "Some men just want to fight or just need war." That was the perfect moment. And when they meet Cumberbatch, he's exactly the type of person that Mark Strong warned them about.
Right.
But it doesn't happen. He still believes them. They don't need the witnesses. And it was such an important moment. And that's what Cumberbatch did so perfectly. So I don't know, the placement and the usage of these characters is what makes me go for 1917.
You almost can sway me. I get it, because it is a definite war in my head, but I'm going to stick with Dunkirk. But I do like what you're going with on that one. Okay. Better sense of war, battles, action, set pieces.
So we're 2-2 right now? No, 2-0, 3-1.
3-1 Dunkirk.
Yeah. Better sense of war.
This is really you got to start this one now.
I will. It's tough. For Dunkirk, well, this category comes down to the action set pieces for me, and the set design, which is really simple when you think about Dunkirk. Almost entirety of the movie is happening on a beach and on a plane and on a boat, which is considered sort of like the same area. But I don't know, Tom. Okay, 1917's case, we have. I'm not even sure how. Oh well, they actually built the trenches, which is also part of the continuous shot. And I don't know. I feel like I'm lost for words because I'm trying to imagine 1917 and I'm even forgetting what I'm pitching it up against, because 1917 takes this easily. Because the set design, and when they come out of the tunnel, when it all collapses and they come to this like destroyed weapons, barren land, these shells everywhere, I feel like, and the most amazing scene of the movie is the flares when he's running through the city, when they have this sort of ruins all over. As good as Dunkirk is, this better sense of war, the set design and the locations are what makes me pick 1917, and that's the sense of war for me. Weird. I stumbled, but I got there.
You got there. Come on in. Come on in. Come on home. Get yourself a beer. 1917 wins easily for me. I agree 110%. I think Dunkirk did a great job with its set pieces. I think Dunkirk had some moments of true horrificness that I did sense the despair, but nothing like the down and dirty earthiness of the 1917. Right. Like the dead bodies that they're when they're going through the trenches, they're going through the muddied no man's land and barren lands, the horses, all the flies over it, and
follow the stench if you're in the dark.
Stench, that's right, and you do, and you see again like the ruins, everything else, the underneath the trench with the rats. Everything about it has made you feel like dirty. I mean, watching it, I had a big bucket of popcorn. I'm like,
yeah, no,
because it's so dirty, and so I felt desperation in that movie like I haven't felt in a war movie in a long time. Much more. Dunkirk was definitely more cinematic as far as
long time.
A cinematic experience, where this has felt like I felt like I was there with them. I felt the pains, I felt the disgust, I felt the cold, I felt the fear. So I think, to me, this one, hands down, I like Dunkirk. I think Dunkirk does a great job with it. I think 1917 has it hands down.
Yeah, we said it before. Dunkirk is more colder and distanced. So, right. But in this case, to get the sense of war, you also need to feel very much for the characters, and this comes into play a lot here.
Agreed.
So this is 2 points for 1917. That means we are 3-3.
3-3. So we go into better emotional explosions or fist pumps.
Yep.
Again, this is where I feel like a broken record. Chris Nolan made the decision that he didn't want a lead character so didn't want you to emotionally invest with one specific character. Wanted you more to care about whether or not the boys were going to get home. It is not a story about somebody specific. This is a story about the soldiers and the moment. He made that decision. I think it was a poor one. I love Christopher Nolan. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. Interstellar is one of my favorite movies of all time. Inception is another one of my favorite movies. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Dunkirk was always kind of more of a disappointment for me as a Nolan movie than for other people. And the main reason why is I did not hook on to any of these characters as well, except for Kenneth Branagh. Pretty much. Or Harry Styles a little bit too.
And for me, it's Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy totally stole this movie. He wasn't supposed to be a main character, but everyone talks about him like he's the main character.
Right. And that's to me, that's part of the problem is even Tom Hardy, I don't feel like I knew very well. I liked what he did, but I didn't like, at the end of the day, I couldn't tell you anything about him. He was just the pilot with the eyes. He's brave.
And he totally sacrificed himself.
Right.
He flew. His engine went out. He just flew over them. He took down planes.
Oh yeah,
he took down boats, and he crashed, and he landed, and he got captured. Oh my God!
But at the end of the day, I felt so much more connected with the characters in 1917. Like when Blake died, I was upset.
But fist pump. Think it doesn't have to be emotional explosion, but fist pump also.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there. The moments in Dunkirk, as far as fist pump goes, is exactly what you meant, the Tom Hardy moment. But I compare the Tom Hardy moment in the plane to the running across the battlefield in 1917. And 1917, running across the battlefield, hands down, my heart was broken for him at the end. I was exhausted with him. I was cold. I was hungry. I felt the cold, the hunger, the desperation to get to the end. It just overtook me more than Tom Hardy's. Tom Hardy, I respected and was like, wow, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
This, I was like, holy shit, get there. Just fucking get there. Yes! That's what I wanted of that. So that to me, I can go tit for tat, but I'll be here all day. That sums up both movies for me. Respect and good stuff. Fuck yeah! So that's what I'm gonna go with. Fuck yeah! I'm gonna go with 1917.
Yeah, me too. But because of a completely different scene, and that's the French lady baby scene, which just like it shattered me, but sort of consoled me in the same moment. So that was the most beautiful scene in the entire movie.
And Dunkirk has a moment like that as well, emotional moment for me. One of the most emotional moments they had in the whole movie for me was when the little kid brother dies.
Oh yeah,
on Ryan's ship, and after spending the movie rightfully in a way blaming Cillian Murphy for the accident, Cillian Murphy asks again, is he okay? Is everybody okay? Is he going to be okay? And he turns and yeah, he's going to be fine. Like lets him off.
Oh my God, yeah, I totally forgot about that moment.
That's a very big God, that's good. So that was a great moment as well. But again, I still got to give it more towards 1917.
Me too. So that's 5-3 for
1917 has taken the lead as we hit our final topic. Better cinematography.
Yeah.
Versus Roger Deakins.
I mean, Dunkirk is almost flawlessly shot, and you feel the plane moments when the planes are going over everything, the guys on the beach, the tracking shot at the beginning of the movie, which is very similar to 1917, won't ever hold a candle to Roger Deakins and what he did in 1917.
Roger Deakins is a legend. He's a legend. It's hard. It's hard category, but I mean, I know we actually argued this at one point because Richard's like, this doesn't even matter. It's in a category. I will say I want to give Hoyte van Hoytema a lot of credit. I think that he is a phenomenal. I've seen his work now in Interstellar also.
He's doing Tenet.
And so that looks beautiful. I know you know a lot more about that than I do. But I mean, and there's nothing against Dunkirk getting nominated. It's a phenomenal piece of work. It's hard to compare to Roger Deakins. It's in a way it is true, but if you're going to give it somebody, you got to give it to Deakins. So I got to give it to Deakins. 1917 wins for me as well.
It's like Andrew Guy said, this is the most beautifully shot movie ever. I think it's what his thesis statement about 1917 was.
I actually still haven't seen that. I got to go back and watch the AMA finally, so I can, now that I've seen 1917. But that's where we are today. We've ended this debate at this point. Court's going to wrap up. No final statements to be made because we've already made our final statements. We have a winner, a clear-cut winner. 1917 wins 7-3. And I got to be honest.
Deservedly.
This is where I almost thought this might be the case. They're very good films to pit up against each other. Dunkirk, for me, it was going to be lesser because of the less emotional impact it has in comparison.
So. Yep, agreed. Exactly. Because when you think about it, both movies do exactly what they want to do. Dunkirk wants you to feel like you're distant and it's a cold movie. And 1917 wants you completely invested and crying with the characters. So in that sense, they both do what they set out to do. But we're emotional beings. We connect to the more emotional story. So
absolutely. That's what it is. So, well, that's what we're going to have for Class Action this week. Richard, where can we find you?
Richard Eric with a K Jarvi on Facebook and Instagram, and go follow Action Industries everywhere and on Instagram. And that was the end of the sentence. I left it. I did the Hans Zimmer thing. I went to the score. I left it there.
I wasn't sure if you froze or not. I remember saying that. Anyway, Paul _DiNuzzo on Twitter. You can find me also as Team Action. Patreon.com/Team Action. I help run Ben Inger's Patreon. There'll be a lot of tiers there, a lot of exciting things happening in Action Industries. Please join us in the Action Army as well. I also, you find me on Call to Action sometimes. I do a lot of Chill to Action weekly segment involving the movie trivia showdown, which we didn't even mention this week. That's the movie trivia show that Ben and Drew are on as well. Movie trivia / wrestling. It sounds weird if you don't know what I'm talking about. But ever. Phenomenal. Go pick that up. And yeah, that's about it for us. That's where we can
let us know what you thought about the public defender bid.
We want to keep going with that. Marriage Indiana again. I fed him this morning and everything, but he still wants to be. He still wants to be on screen. He's a camera hog. But yeah, let us know if you like the public defender bits. You want us to do that again? Let us know. Also, like, subscribe, share, get more people help here. That'd be great. We'd greatly appreciate that. We appreciate you, our loyal viewers that are here. and hopefully we'll help build this
Did
together.
we talk about the Action Guys new episode?
Oh, we did not. That's right. We were going to mention that. We forgot to plug it. This week is good call. This Sunday is going to be the debut of the new Action Guys show. After the fallout from Collider, which we don't have to go into, but Ben and Drew are no longer doing the Action Guys now on Collider. They're going to bring it home to Action Industries, but they're going to revamp it. We're going to have a new segment. I don't know how long. It's going to be an open-ended show, I believe. It's going to be at Ben's house. If you combine the best way to describe it would be taking the Action Guys and combining it with the live stream atmosphere they've developed. It'll be an interactive show with segments. This week's the first one they're going to do is the true best film of 2019. They're going to have guest Mark Riley. I don't know exactly how it's going to go down. It's going to be 5:30 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. I know they talked about one point maybe trying to incorporate call-ins and in more interactive segments as well as this develops. But this is the first one, so let's get in on the ground floor. I think this is going to be something very special. It's going to be something very fun to do in the community. It's a great time for these creators to be working their own shows, working their own environments, and I hope everybody comes along with them because Ben and Drew definitely deserve an audience. That's what I say about that.
The only sad thing about this is the worst possible time for me, so I won't be able to watch this one live, but I'll definitely rewatch it just when it's up. But this is completely midnight morning for me.
Yeah, it sucks when I get
it's still awesome. It's a new show. It's fresh. I'm sure people are going to be tuning in because this is, and then it's Yodi. Yodi's going to be on.
Mark Yodi Riley. Yes, one of my favorites. I love that man. So that's where we are. And this is what we can say is, as we end every week, court, my friend, court is adjourned.